Okay, I want to follow up on the Mike Tyson discipline video that I did last week. The last video that I had, I mentioned a quote from Mike Tyson where he essentially says that discipline is doing what you hate, but doing it as if you love it. And I think that's a great quote. But I got some quite strong feedback afterwards. A lot of emails came into me personally and some interesting feedback. And the key theme amongst almost all of them was using Mike Tyson to talk about discipline was a bad idea because his career went in free fall. So I think you got it wrong here, Gary. And it's a fair point, but I want to discuss why I disagree with that completely. First thing is, the main thing I was concentrating on in that video and in the article that I wrote as well on my free Substack was the basis of that quote, which was that discipline is doing things you hate as if you love them. I think that's a great quote for discipline. And it actually doesn't matter who said that. I think it's a great quote. And I outlined in that last video and in my Substack article, I outlined 4 ways for traders, 4 things that often traders go through the motions with, that if you can actually become elite at them, that you will become a much better trader. There are 4 things that we really focus on in the Norden method community all the time as well. But let's go back to talk about Mike Tyson's career. Mike Tyson at his prime, and I remember I was a big boxing fan in the 80s and 90s. I remember watching him. He was unbelievable, ferocious. He was also a real student of boxing. He understood the history of boxing. He knew all the past champions. He understood their styles. He created his own style that was sort of a mixture of a few, but he was a very talented boxer. He had a very good mentor, a guy called Customato. Customato took him in when he was a kind of like a street kid, trained him, taught him, educated him. And under this, Tyson's power, his ferocity was sort of channeled with his discipline and knowledge, and he became absolutely fearsome boxer. If you watch other boxers, they were scared to get in the ring with him. Now, 2 things happened, or 1 thing happened that led to other things, and that was the passing of Customato. When Customato died, Mike Tyson lost his mentor. And mentors are very important to all of us, really. Anders Ericsson, who wrote the book Peak, was an expert on achieving and mastering different pursuits. Ericsson says that everybody needs a mentor to become very successful. Sportsmen have it, tennis players, golfers, everybody has coaches and mentors. I had them in my career. As traders, you need mentors to do well. You need people that you can listen to, talk to, reflect from. And I had them in my career. I wouldn't be here now without certain really good mentors in my career. Now, for Tyson, it was Customato. And when Customato died, that took away his mentor. That was a big thing for him. At the same time, he started to lose his discipline. The people around him weren't as good around him. They weren't as positive influences on him. And Tyson's discipline really started to wane. He wouldn't train as hard and all the things that he was doing before. He still had his power. He still had his ferocity. He still had his knowledge about boxing history, about boxing champions. But without discipline, all of that was essentially worthless. He became almost like a journeyman boxer within just a few years. He'd lost that discipline. So if we put that back as trading, we can have edge, we can have strategy, techniques, tactics. You can have, a little bit of talent if you think that exists for traders. But discipline is the glue that holds it together. If you don't have the discipline, the rest of it could fall apart very quickly. And so that's why I think Tyson is even better example of discipline, because he still had everything else, but without discipline, that's when his career fell apart. So if you're thinking again, if you have decent strategies, decent trading techniques, it may well be the discipline and the things that I talked about in the first video that are holding you back.